Alright, the video this week was not supposed to be a news video, but Grinding Geek Games just dropped a bunch of juicy info these past few weeks. Between new interviews, speculation, and the official 0.3 update release date, we've got a lot to cover, so let's break it all down. First up, the 0.3 content update for Path of Exile 2 is coming out on August 29th, PDT. We'll get the full content reveal 1 week earlier on August 22nd, also PDT. This update is expected to be a big one. I'll get into that speculation in a moment. Some really interesting stuff came out of the China interview too. Even though Tencent owns Grinding Geek Games, the devs pushed back hard against making PoE 2 free to play during early access in China. Jonathan Rogers literally said that it would be unfair to the rest of the world and stuck to his word. Huge respect. Also, with patch 0.3, China is getting its own client and servers, so that's a major infrastructure rollout happening alongside the patch. Switching over to the Japan interview, probably the most exciting takeaway here is that the new trading system is officially in the works. No details yet. This was mentioned as something Jonathan stated is intended to reduce language barriers and frustration among players in Japan and Asian regions, but hopefully it's an in-game auction house style setup, because we all know how painful trading can be in PoE, especially if you're a console or a new player. Trading has always been a pain point in PoE. You need a third-party website firstly, then whispering back and forth, or just praying that the seller actually replies. If this new system fixes that, or even just lets us trade in the hideout, it's going to be a game changer. Now let's get into some speculation. A lot of people, including myself, are thinking a new act might be coming in 0.3. Why? Well, Kamil Orman-Janowski, GGG's music composer, responded to Darth Microtransaction recently on Twitter and said, music, and more music, which means he's busy. And when music is being created, it usually means two things, new bosses and new areas. So yeah, maybe a new act is coming in August. Also, let's not forget every big patch usually drops with a league mechanic. We don't know what it is yet, but if 0.3 is as big as they say, it might introduce new crafting systems like the fracturing orb in 0.2 and map mechanics like wisps. Wisps weren't received well, so I think they might add something better. And also, on the 0.1 and 0.2 releases, they released revamped versions of their old mechanics, so expect something revamped you've likely seen before. Let's talk about the likely order of release classes, based on info and dev timelines from the interviews. The first class and the next confirmed class is the druid, which is already confirmed. This is the first intelligence/strength class. The next class I think would release is the marauder. I don't think GGG is going to release back-to-back intelligence/strength classes. So my bet is the Marauder being released before Templar. This is the third class that I think is going to release. With the last two, it's a bit interchangeable, but I think Duelist would be the next class. Now I initially thought this would come out earlier, but according to the China interview, swords were added later in development, so he's probably fourth. Shadow being the last. Now Shadow could be before Duelist, but who knows. Big update, big patch, and maybe a big act coming. Let me know in the comments what you're most excited for, the new trading system, a possible new act, or the class releases. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll catch you closer to August 22nd when the full reveal drops. Peace.